This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey everyone, you're listening to The Public Affair with me, Andrew G. I see someone different every episode, but do me a favor, keep it between us. Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Andrew G, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Public Affair. You know, in an effort to become a little bit more inspirational because the younger generation is now getting to know me and watch me and want to be like me, this next guest on my podcast is nothing less than that. He truly is an inspiration to him, his peers, and his family. Now, before we continue with my very special guest, I want to use this opportunity to thank everybody who continues to watch and support The Public Affair. Of course, the Rogue Media Network, we got Mason and Mike here producing this episode. So thank you guys so much. And to all of you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Otherwise, I'm gonna stop doing the show. I'm not gonna do you guys no more favors. I'm done. That's it. Like, share, and subscribe to the show. I'm kidding. I'm still gonna fucking do it because I'm kidding, right? Now, before we continue, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout out. Just a few of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by David Santabañez with Alinea Real Estate. He's the number one sales agent still in his office. How are you still the number one sales agent in your office after 4 years of sponsoring The Public Affair? You want to know why, bro? Because you're the GOAT. He will help you buy or sell your property. Make sure you follow him on Facebook at David with Alinea. Call the number on the screen. If you don't know how to buy a house, you don't know where to start, just give my boy David a call. He's gonna help you out with that, okay? And my next guest, he's on his way to buying a house here in the next 6 months. That's how successful he is, all right? David Santabañez, habla español. Make sure you guys get with him. Best real estate agent at Alinea Real Estate. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to my girl, Nika Armstrong, with Armstrong's Bayou Cafe and Bayou Po' Boys, which is my absolute fixation. It is my obsession. I love Cajun food from Armstrong's Bayou Cafe, serving up the most authentic Cajun cuisine. All the pastas are my absolute favorite. If you're a baked potato person, go try her seafood baked potatoes. They're so good. Everything there is the Po' Boys. I got put onto the Po' Boys. The Po' Boys are everything. They're like those Cajun sandwiches. They're like a mess, but they're amazing. They're so great. Good. Make sure you guys, bro, go after this, okay? Go check them out. Union Hall, Union Grove. Follow Armstrong's Bayou Cafe. And Nika Armstrong, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Manny Guerrero with Blue Star RV Services, and you guys buy the RVs. You guys are going camping with the family. All of a sudden, things start breaking. The AC don't work. It's hot outside. Call Blue Star RV Services so he can come fix all that for you. If you own a food truck as well, because I know a lot of my friends own food trucks, something happens, something breaks down in the middle of the event, Blue Star RV Services is going to come get that taken care of as well. The team is 100% reliable, and they are absolutely amazing. Blue Star RV Services, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Jonathan Garcia with JG's Lawn Care. Contact for all lawn care services, including mowing, weed eating, edging, tree trimming, and so much more. Listen, I'm so tired of going down these streets, and y'all's lawns are a hot mess express. Why you haven't called JG's Lawn Care Service to come out there and take it out already, right? He offers competitive pricing, willing to travel anywhere to get your property looking right. Follow on Facebook at JG's Lawn Care Waco. To Jonathan, thank you so much for sponsoring, of course, to Chef's Pizza and Burgers with Jesse, and Tanya Sotomayor offering a wide variety of delicious lunch and dinner options. Listen, the New York style pizza, that sound good. Bro, that shit is good as fuck. The New York style pizza does it for me because I'm from New York, so it just takes it for me. Okay, the burgers, the subs, the delicious Mexican hot dogs. I wanted a Mexican hot dog so bad, and then they hit me up, and I got a Mexican hot dog, and I'm being obsessed right now, right? They also a wide variety also of delicious beer, you're not old enough, desserts, and much more. Check out their page, Chef's Pizza and Burgers for daily lunch specials. Go check them out. 3125 Bell Mead Drive. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And of course, before we continue, I definitely have to thank my boy Jeff Davis at the Texas Car Plug at University Mazda Kia. Hit him up to get the best deal on a brand new or pre-owned vehicle. Listen, if you kind of have like shitty credit, if you don't have no credit, if the credit is just a little bit questionable, if you have great credit, whatever kind of credit, hit up my boy Jeff Davis. He's going to make sure he gets you rolling off the lot with something nice, all right? Because everybody deserves a nice new car to spoil themselves. Jeff Davis, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. I truly, truly appreciate it. All right, guys. Like I said, I've been super excited to interview this next guest. I saw a news article on him some weeks ago or so, and I was like, yo, I know that kid. I'm going to explain to you how I know that kid here in just a second. And one of my random fluke visits to the grocery store, I ran into him again, said, you want to know what? Something is telling me to invite you on the show. He came in. He said he was shy. I was like, don't be shy. I need you to be that rambunctious person that I met. Damn, 6 years ago. It's been something like that. Yeah, when you were rapping and calling me names in Spanish. But you know what? I want him to really exude just his success on this show. I'm super proud of him for seeing where he's at today in life, especially comparing to the kid that I saw 6 years ago. I think it was about something like that.
Like sixth grade.
It was I can't remember. Stop. My age is showing. Okay. Anyway, you guys, I'm so excited to welcome Mr. Nabor Lopez Jr. here on The Public Affair. Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Thank you for coming on. Truly appreciate it. How do you feel about being here? How you doing? How's life?
It's been good so far. You know, I've just been trying to, like I said, stay motivated for school. You know.
Yeah, you're still young.
Yeah, I'm 18, fresh still.
Oh my God. So you just graduated just
Yeah, I graduated in May of 2020.
Okay, so you're just fresh out of high school. But
Yes,
you know
sir.
what? You're on your sophomore year of college, so congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
part of the article was the highlighting your success at graduating with 30 college credits. I hadn't even stepped foot in college.
Yeah, I mean, it was you know, it was a journey in high school. You know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I want to get into all that for sure. And you know, before I want to let the guests or the viewers know, we met when you were a middle school. It was middle school, right?
Yeah, I think it was sixth grade.
Okay, it was
yeah.
Lake Air Montessori. So you guys know I used to work for a radio station. Power went away. Hello, shout out to them. And on 2018, I got sent out to do a career day. It was my very, very first career day that I've ever done. Now I get booked for them all the time.
Now you probably don't want to do it no more.
No, I like career day now. The kids think I'm the coolest.
Yeah.
You tell them you have a YouTube channel, and they think I don't know who Mr. Beast is, but they think I know like Mr. Beast and PewDiePie and shit like that. I don't know who they are. I think they're
famous YouTubers.
They're famous. I know that, but I know now because the kids. But anyway, in the career day at Lake Air Montessori, all the kids, they didn't think I was cool. Then all of a sudden we had this group of rambunctious kids rapping and freestyling, banging on tables, and they were like wild animals all over the place. And I was going through my videos because when I saw the picture of you, neighbor, I was like, bro, I know this kid. That was us. That was us there. So it's so cool. I just want to, first congratulate you on everything that you're achieving as a young adult, honestly, because, y'all were not like that.
Yeah.
What do you think changed in your life to kind of, you seem like you have a pretty good head on your shoulder for the most part.
I think I wanted, once I entered high school, I felt like, it's time to, put my life together, life's going to get started. I need to figure out what I want to do,
Sure. Did you lose a lot of friends in the process?
I did because, after that 8th grade COVID year, I left, I thought I was going back to school and I left on spring break and never went back. So, I kind of stayed friends with a few, but for the most part, I met a whole new
group
high
of
school,
people. I got you. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to get into all that. But before we do that, Neighbor's only 18 years old, fresh out of high school. So there's seems to may have been or not been a lot that went on your life. But can you just introduce yourself to us and kind of talk to us a bit about your life growing up and such, please?
So, my name's Nabor. I'm 18 years old. I grew up in South Waco, Beverly Hills. My mom and dad. I had a little trouble growing up, family-wise.
Sure.
My dad got into some, drugs, alcohol,
okay.
So my mom and my dad divorced when I was maybe about, let's say, I was probably freshman year of high school.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, yeah,
So that's still roughly fresh.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago, So that kind of, took a toll on me, I didn't really know what to do, I'm a kid.
Okay.
Started a new school, parents just divorced.
Most definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so, we moved out, we went to my grandma's house, whatever. And, that took a toll on him, he kept getting worse. Thank God now, he's better.
He's better now.
Yeah,
okay. Shout out to dad.
Yeah, he had some trouble with the laws, whatever,
Okay.
But, he's doing good now.
Haven't we all once or twice?
Right.
Well, not me. I just never got caught.
No, but he's doing a lot better now. And
Sure,
I think
man.
that's been helping me too, knowing that he's getting better. I don't have to worry about him,
Do you mind? Can we dive into that just a little bit, if you don't mind? And I do want to give shout out to your dad because drug and alcohol abuse is definitely not something that is easy to overcome.
No,
you know
it's
what I
not.
mean? And while I've had my own experiences, I'd love to get your perspective and your experience as a young adult. A lot of people, when they go through something like that in their household, they turn a different direction in life where they start acting out or maybe they start getting in trouble. Yeah. So can you recall when the hardship started for you in that and how bad it affected you?
I think it was, like I said, my freshman year, and I wouldn't say it really took a bad toll on me,
Sure.
Yeah, I was hurt or whatever, going through things, but I feel like I used it as motivation, I was like, I got to do good for my mom, she's sacrificed all this stuff, she's a single parent now raising me. Like, I gotta do good for her, I gotta become successful.
Most definitely.
And I think that helped me, try to want to be good, want to be better for her.
Got you. Did you ever act out in the beginning though? Like, I guess. Well, let me back up just a little bit. When Dad, he wasn't always having this issue, right? Or was it just kind of starting around that time?
It was just kind of,
Okay, so it was just kind of starting. So he develops this habit. What was his behavior towards you? Was it ever bad behavior? Like, was he kind of like one point, lashing out at you and stuff like that?
Yeah, at one point it was. When people are on that kind of stuff, they're in a different mindset. They don't know really what they're doing.
Yeah.
So like to me, when he was like on that, like he was a whole different person. I didn't really know him.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, sometimes he'd act out. I'd just have to walk away.
Okay, got you. Yeah. So when all that was going on, and you mentioned that he was a different person, did it ever affect your relationship with him? Like, did you begin to kind of despise him for a little bit?
At one point, I wouldn't say hated, but sure. I had a little bit of like I felt some type of way towards him for
Yeah.
the way he, you know, he did me and my family and my
I got
mom,
you.
you know. I felt some type of way, but, you know, forgiveness, you know, you got to forgive people. You got to, people change.
No, yeah, for sure. They do for the most part.
Sometimes.
Yeah, no, but in this case, he did.
No, yes,
Did you guys ever have a conversation about that?
No. When before, you know, when he was bad, I would try to, you know, I'd try to talk to him all the time, you know, try to get him help, and he'd just blow it off. He didn't think he had a problem, you know.
Okay.
But now, you know, since I've been talking to him, we've been getting closer. He admits it to me now, so I think that's a big,
that's a
big thing.
step. Absolutely, because some of them they still don't. What do you think contributed to him picking up those bad habits?
Well, I talked to my mom about it a little bit, and when I was younger, they lost a baby.
Oh.
He'd be the same age as me for about a month.
Okay.
So he'd be 17 right now.
Yeah.
He turned 17 in June 11th.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah,
okay.
he died when he was about 4 months old, and
Okay.
I think that took a big toll on him.
Really? Okay, got you. So then he starts acting out and stuff like that.
It wasn't as bad, you know. He was barely started, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, people find their own coping mechanisms, and then unfortunately for him, this was his coping mechanism.
Yeah. And like you said, you know, when you would be at the clubs or whatever, you know, they'd offer you drugs and this and that. And he played in a grupo. So, you know, he'd be out all Saturday nights. And
we probably met.
Probably.
No, well, I told you that, I did share with Nabor, you know, when we would do, like, those club events, all the grupos were on that shit.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. And they used to think I was on that shit, too. And I was like, no, I've never touched a drug a day in my life. On God, I could put my right hand on the Bible on that one. No, okay, so it doesn't help that he is, you know, working all kinds of late hours and stuff like that.
And I think that, with that, on top of that, I think that, you know, that led him to some bad habits.
I got you, yeah. And so then, you know, it's just crazy because you mentioned that he maybe didn't acknowledge it, that he was blowing it off in the beginning. But I kind of want to know for you, Nabor, you know, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of kids when they're growing up in a broken home, well, I guess a broken home like that,
it was.
you know, where things like that are taking place, they find their outlet in the streets. You know what I mean? And then you mentioned you're from South Waco. So a lot of the guests that I've had are from South Waco. And, you know, they recall a lot of times in their lives where, you know, they made some poor choices. Did you ever find yourself going down that route too? Even for just a little bit?
I think, you know, at one point, you know, I was being, you know, disrespectful to my mom. I really wasn't listening to her. And I have an older sister. Yeah. She's 27. And she was kind of like my second mom, you know. After we, you know, my home got broken or whatever, she kind of like took that place of, you know, helping my mom out with us, you know, this and that.
Yeah, for sure.
So sometimes when I'd act out, she'd call her, and, you know, sometimes she'd send me with her for the weekend, and I have to stay over there with her.
Oh, really? With the older sister?
Yeah. Because, you know, me and her, I can open up to her, you know. I'm able to talk to her. And my mom, I don't know, you know, I'm just... It's not that I'm not comfortable with her. I just don't want to talk to my mom about certain things.
For certain things, yeah.
And for my sister, you know, she's a sibling. We're close. And for her, I was able to, you know...
Were you guys always close that way?
Yeah. Ever since.
How do you think it affected the family dynamic? I mean, so you mentioned that you were acting out towards your mother and everything like that. Did your mother take it pretty hard and maybe kind of...
I mean, we all kind of just mixed emotions, you know. We all take our anger out. We didn't know how to process it, you know. We take it out all on each other, you know. We just all, you know, if something always happened, it was everybody else's fault, never ourselves, you know.
I got you. And you know what? Big shout out to the dad. We in no way want to condemn him. You know what I mean? And I'm really happy to hear that he's doing better now, as long as he's not in them grupos. Because, you know.
He was always a good dad. He was always a good supporter. Sure. So, you know.
Do you think that it may have hindered your development as a man and how you want to become a father sometime in the future? Or do you think that you learned from those experiences?
No, yeah, I think sometimes I look back at it, I'm like, you know, I don't want to be like this, you know. I want to be a better father, you know. I want to be there for my kids, you know. Yeah. Because, you know, he kind of missed I wouldn't say the most important part, you know. I was growing up to be a man, you know. Freshman year of high school, you know. I feel that's when somebody needs their dad the most, so they can teach them things, you know, teach them ways, teach them the right and wrongs. Yeah. And I didn't really have that, you know.
Yeah, most definitely. Okay. Yeah. And there was no other, I mean, you didn't have like an older brother or nothing like that.
No, I have 2 older sisters, that's it. So I'm the only boy.
You know, they're all with the cheese man, right? They're probably over there gossiping and shit.
For real, right? Yeah, just me.
Well, you know, no, man. And, you know, big ups to you and your family for having to endure that and move forward from it. And, you know, I definitely want to congratulate you and give you guys your flowers. And, you know, I guess you talked about lashing out just a little bit, and then your mom would send you away with the sister and stuff like that. Did you ever do anything that was so horrible, that was acting out, you know, as a young teenager, that defined the moment where you kind of just turned things around? I was like, you know, I'm going to keep my head in the books. I got to get my shit together.
Let's see. I don't think so. I think, you know, just once I entered high school, you know, I wanted better for myself. Wanted to make my mom proud. There was times where I would say I would talk to about my mom. She'd break down and she'd start crying.
Oh wow, really?
And that's, you know, kind of when I was like, you know, like that's not right. You know, she's been doing all this stuff for me, and I'm treating her this way. You know, she doesn't deserve that. And I think that kind of, you know, made me want to do better. You know, make her proud.
And that's so great too, though, that you think that way. I mean, you have like this really developed mindset where it's just kind of like, you know, you think about the people around you and how your choices affect them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some people just don't do that. Some people don't learn that.
I tend to put other people for myself, but you know,
sometimes
it's a good thing.
It's a blessing and a curse, believe me, because I'm the same way. And I've had to clock a few bitches. Okay, but anyway, you know, okay, so, you know, we mentioned earlier in the show, congratulations to you. Graduated from high school, 30 credit hours, college hours, excuse me, credits,
yes,
30 credits for college, but however that works. Okay,
sophomore in college.
Yeah, let's put a sophomore in college, because, you know, when I graduated high school, there was no college for me. I was like, I'm just going to go be famous, right?
Go be on the radio station.
Well, we thought. And then, the public affair, hello. And so, you know, keeping your head in the books, you know, were you able to do so? Because high school are those years where you guys are acting out, you know what I mean? And, you know, you were in a situation and circumstance where you had every opening to do so, where, you know, you were hurt at home and you probably just don't want to be there, right? Yeah. What motivated you to keep your head in the books and kind of just like, you know, be where you are today when it was in your high school years?
So ever since I was little, I always played baseball, and you know, I think being an athlete in high school, I think that helps a lot. You know, you have your coaches, your support system. You know, even if you have a broken home, you always have your coaches. You know, they're always there they're like a mentor to you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so my freshman year, I started. You know, I always played baseball my whole life, but I started playing for university. And there's these twins, John and Jason, and they I don't know if you know them.
Yes, yes, I do. Yeah, they're older than me.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, John and Jason, they have like a little summer league that I always do. You know, they'd go out there.
Waco Southern something.
Yeah. Well, one of them's a pastor and one of them has a landscaping business.
No, yeah, I know, but the name of the baseball organization is Waco Southern Little League something.
Yeah.
I raised money for you guys to go to the goddamn Dominican Republic.
I went.
That was you. You see? Oh my God. How life has turned around and we're just like here now. It's so wild. I was on the radio. I stood out there in the corner where Ocean Buffet is. I raised you guys $1,000.
Thank you.
I did. And Jason and him, well, they wouldn't come on my show. No, we're cool. They're doing so well. But okay, yeah. So they were a part of your life.
So, I think they worked as like great mentors, you know, because they've been through a lot too.
So phenomenal.
And they know, what you're gonna do, how it's gonna lead you there, and they know how to. I feel like, you know, make you more of a man, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that helped a lot, you know, just being in baseball and all that.
Yeah.
I think that helped me stay on the right path. You know, you gotta have your grades up, passing your classes. So
right. Okay. Do you think that in the event though, because we mentioned that you grew up in a household where it was two sisters and then dad wasn't around, do you think that they may have stepped into that role where it was like the more masculine, you know, role model-esque?
I think at one point, yes, because, you know, we'd meet a lot. I think it was like twice a week we'd practice during the summer. Yeah. You know, they'd always stick around, you know, text you, hey, you know, if you ever need anything, you know, holler at me. To this day, because I worked for him in the summer, you know, to this day, he called me not too long ago, hey, you know, if you ever need anything, you know, I'm there for you, this and that.
This is John or Jason?
John. Jason as well, though, you know.
Jason's the one that's a pastor, right?
Yes,
and then John just had a baby. Not too long. Yes, I remember. I remember them both. I do. I remember them vividly. I actually invited them on the show.
Oh, did you?
I got sick when I raised you guys the $1,000. Nobody took me to the Dominican Republic. I got fired from the show. But anyway. No, okay. So regardless, though, you know, you have these mentors, you're playing baseball, which phenomenal. How didn't you ever fall into the peer pressure? I mean, did you ever, you know, the kids in high school, they want to party.
I mean, you know,
not for nothing, they're experimenting with the drugs. You know, everybody, their hormones are all over the place. You know what I mean? Girls start developing, and I didn't have that problem. But yeah, you know, for you, how didn't you fall into any of the peer pressure?
I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I think I've smoked weed, you know, 3-4 times. You know,
I please, a year. Okay.
You know, I'd go out, you know, we'd party, drink sometimes, you know, but you know, it was nothing really ever too major, you know. And, you know, once, you know, I tried that way, you know, like, you know, it's not really my thing, you know, it's not really my cup of tea.
Sure,
you know, it's not what I want, you know.
Yeah, man.
But, I mean, I experienced it, you know, 3 or 4 times, you know, but.
So, but you still were partaking in the experimental things that high schoolers do.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I was a high schooler.
Hello. But, you know, I can't speak for the same. I was a very good kid. My parents don't know how good they had it with me.
Yeah.
I wasn't sneaking out and shit, right? But you still managed to keep a good head on your shoulders. Did you find yourself in a group of friends, or, you know, I asked you earlier in the show if you lost friends. You know, in your development stage where you're kind of trying to keep yourself successful.
Yeah.
Did your friendship circle change or shift when that happened for you?
I don't think so. You know, I was always with my friends or whatever. You know, when I went to go do that, I wasn't with my friends. You know, I was just, you know, there. I think I don't remember who I was with. You know, I'd go with my older sister too because she was in high school.
Oh, okay.
She's 20 right now, so we're 2 years apart.
Yeah.
you know, I'd go with her. She'd take me with her friends, and I'd be chilling with them. I felt cool. You know, I'm with the older people. Yeah.
You were one of those.
Freshman in high school, but you know, I'm with the cool kids supposedly. But
I got you, yeah. And you know, just real quick, because you university graduate. Shout out to Avi Gutierrez, who's been on the show twice. She's a soccer player.
Yeah,
She's been on the show. So I love her family. Okay, okay. So baseball's happening. You get the baseball kind of keeps you out of trouble and everything. Were you ever made fun of for?
Honestly,
you know, for kind of just like staying focused? Yeah.
I wasn't.
So you didn't experience a lot of bullying?
No, I feel like in high school, you know, there's a lot of people who, you know, like if people are getting bullied, I was one of those. If I see somebody getting made fun of, you know, hey, you know, that's not cool.
Oh, okay. You were one of those. Yeah. Where were you when I was in high school?
I don't know. I was probably like what?
I stayed getting made fun of, and now they're all in my DMs at 2:00 in the morning,
trying to get at you.
Yeah, bitch, I'm asleep. Like, what are you doing?
Alone.
What are you doing? Sleeping. Like, bitch. What would you say your main inspiration was to stay successful and keep your head in the books?
Like I said, I think it was my mom. You know, trying to, you know, all this my dad, you know, all that he sacrificed. You know, he's from Mexico, whatever. He came over here. He did what he did, but you know, my whole life, you know, he gave me a good life, you know.
That's good.
Except that, you know, a couple years in high school.
Yeah.
He was there for me my whole life, you know, and I think wanting to make him proud, you know, no matter what he did, you know, trying to, you know, come out in front, you know.
Yeah.
Just wanted to be successful for them.
They're still divorced right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so please don't call me sir, because I already feel old.
Sorry.
Oh my God, I'm only 33. Relax. Okay. No, so when you did graduate and then you start being highlighted, you know, for your achievements and everything like that, did Dad come around and kind of acknowledge it?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to him. And he, my uncle was showing him the video, or whatever. He commented like, "Hey, I seen you. You were on the news." This and that. And he congratulated me, telling me how proud he was.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big ups to you. Well, you know what, neighbor? Before we go, I want to share with you that my dad made similar choices, but he never left us in the house, and now he gets to watch his coworkers watch the podcast every single Monday, and then you get to hear about my bad behavior now as an adult through work. My dad's proud of me, isn't he? Okay. Well, listen, you guys, we're gonna take a quick break, but when we get back, we're gonna have more with neighbor Lopez Jr. I would definitely want to learn more about him being a young entrepreneur, college life, not folding into peer pressure, or not, you know, kind of keeping your head on your shoulders, not falling into, what's the word I'm looking for, not missing out, falling into pressure. You know, stuff like that. Anyway, you guys, we'll be right back here with neighbor Lopez Jr. on the Public Affairs. Stay tuned. I lost my word, and they're right here. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this exciting episode of The Public Affair. My very special guest, Mr. Neighbor Lopez Jr. Now, before we continue, I definitely want to use this opportunity. I just got to give a shout out to just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of He said, go ahead. Like, I'm asking for permission. Y'all, he said, hold on, I'll tell you after this. This episode was brought to us by Banda's Hauling Service with Julian and Ana Banda. That's right. They rent dump trailers. You fill it up. They haul it away. They do junk removals. They do tree brush removals. They haul cars in and out of town. They also offer roll-off dumpster services as well. Perfect for big, giant Mexican get-togethers. So that way there's no beer bottles on the floor, no other stuff on the floor. You guys can throw that all the way, and he'll come and haul it off for you. Book now with the number on the screen, because they're definitely a number that you want to have to pull you out of a sticky situation. Pun intended. Banda's Hauling Service, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Jeffrey Monreal, Pollo Box and Audio in South Waco. Okay, he's home for all your LED needs and auto accessories, installation, stereos, door speakers, and audio systems. He gave me my bass. I have bass in my car. Yeah, hello. Yo, I be jamming the Britney Spears on the bass, and y'all didn't know that should be bassing, but it does. All right, that's me in the South jamming Prima J. All right, he also specializes in building custom subwoofer enclosures and much more. Your one-stop shop to get everything done in one roof. To my boy Jeffrey Monreal, make sure you guys hit him up for all your car audio and car modifications. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Jesus Sanchez from Mart Texas Brothers Roofing and Remodeling, a small construction business for Mart, specializing in general roofing needs and so much more. Listen, protect your home from the crazy elements of the Texas weather. It be storms. It's hailing at one point. The wind gusts are heavy. A little bit of everything, and the roof be a mess. The shingles all over the place. Everything. Hit up my boy Brothers Roofing and Remodeling. He's going to make sure you guys are taken care of and the house is standing in tip-top shape. Follow on Facebook. Call them on the screen. Se habla español también. To my boy Jesus Sanchez. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And of course, to Soko Soccer Academy with Dominic Gutierrez and Ariana Gutierrez. They offer team, small group, and individual skills training and some of the best child care services in not Central Texas, scratch that. All of Texas. That's right. They also have elite skills training to make your kids superb star athletes. You can also train with professionals like the greatest George De Leon. The Public Affair also remains a very proud sponsor of the SoCo soccer teams, coached by Coach Mauro Maldonado, Coach Megan, Coach Jeff Knapp. Thank you guys so much for letting me be a part of all that. And big ups and congratulations to you and all the kids and everything that you guys are accomplishing. I truly, truly appreciate it. It's the SoCo Soccer Academy. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. All right, guys, we're back with my very special guest. You guys know what Nabor asked me? But when we went to break, he said, "How long have you been working for The Public Affair?"
My bad.
No, you know what? Well, you should have just punched me in the face, damn it.
Basically, right?
Working for The Public Affair, please. You know what? We mentioned that, you like to party and stuff like that. A big distraction in a young man's life can be girls, right?
Yeah.
And now I do see that you have a girlfriend.
Yes,
And no disrespect to her, she's gorgeous. Okay, she's gorgeous. But we're talking about when Nabor was single. Okay. So how did that not become a distraction to you? Because you're pretty handsome young man, so I'm sure the girls were flocking all over you. You know what I mean? So how did that not?
I think like I said, with being with baseball, it kept me busy a lot. We'd practice till 6:00, 6:30.
Oh wow.
Every day. When baseball started. So I think that kept me busy. It didn't really give me too much time to really do anything, mess around or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
And then at 16, when I think my sophomore year, I got a job at Cavender's.
Oh.
So that kept me even more busier, So I didn't really have much time, to go do all this other stuff on my plate, So
I got you.
that kept me, in focus,
Were you the boot plug at Cavender's?
For some people, yeah.
Yeah, were you singing the stingrays and stuff like that? These are Metcons, but I do have some stingrays at my house.
I want some.
I do. I wear them to all special events that are going on.
They're nice.
They are super nice, and they feel great too. Okay, so it wasn't really a distraction for you and everything like that.
No.
Now, how long have you and the girlfriend been together?
Going on 2 years.
2 years. Okay, so it's getting pretty serious. We're talking kids.
Hey, no, come on, don't wish me bad luck now. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, so she's busy with the college and stuff too.
Yeah,
though,
she's
right?
going MCC too.
Do you guys find yourself motivating each other at some points? I mean, because you guys are a young couple, you guys want to do things. You know what I mean? And
I think we do. This past week we've been like each other. I think like 3 days out of the week, and we've been we'll be like, hey, let's get together, do some work, whatever. We'll go somewhere to the park or something. Go to my house, do some work.
Yeah,
the house, you can't just focus work. You gotta go out.
You should go to Armstrong's Bayou Cafe and get some of the most authentic Cajun cuisine with a wide selection of signature crab cakes.
Good, right?
Yeah, it's so great. No, okay, so you guys motivate each other and stuff like that. Do you ever find yourself being demotivated?
All the time. Like I say, I'm taking my online class and I gotta force myself out of the bed.
Sure.
Be sitting there. And that's why I put my little desk in the dining room, so I got to get up out of bed and go do my work.
Okay,
I feel like that helps a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, when you're doing online, you have your family there at the house, and you hear her talking. Sure. You want to go sit in there and chill with them too, but you gotta.
Here's a good question: why online? What makes the difference?
So look, my initial plan, it kind of. I think it was gonna be too much, but I wanted to go work at the jail. So I wanted to take full-time college. It's 4 classes. And I wanted to go work at the jail full-time, and that's why I had told my my advisor, can you put me in online class? She's like, yeah, that's cool. And so, I started thinking about it, started talking to my family about it, and they're like, I think it's going to be too much. And I agree with them because, I would have been working nights, days,
bro, you would have been working
mixed shifts,
12-hour days,
12 hours.
School, bro,
yeah.
please.
But, so I was like, put school first,
Yeah, one of my friends started as a CO at the jail. Now he's a sheriff. Big shout out to Joe. But I don't know how. There's no way you're doing college with that either.
Yeah,
right?
It was hard.
So the credits are in criminal justice.
Yeah, most of them. Yes,
most of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we're pursuing.
Yeah.
And it's to be a
DPS trooper.
Which is
one day.
What is that, sheriff or
Texas Highway Patrol?
Oh, the Texas Highway Patrol. Okay, yeah. So why that career feel for you?
I feel like ever since I was little, that's what I wanted to be, a DPS trooper. And I think, just what I went through, I want to be able to help, the broken people, the people who need help, I feel like my background, I went through it, I understand people, so I feel like that'll help me a lot, be able to connect with the people and be able to give back to them and help them out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. Do you find yourself, do you find it like a daunting task to be somewhat of an inspiration from where you're from? You know what I mean? Because people look at you, the young boy from South Waco, dad was making his choices and family was whatever, you know what I mean? Drugs, coke.
Yeah. I think so, being able to say, hey, I made it out, doing what I wanted to do. And
here's a good question. Do you find a lot of your peers, and when I say your peers, like, people that you grew up with, your friends, you're from here, you know what I mean? Do you see any of them, or have you, I should say, seen any of them make pretty poor choices? And did you ever feel like it was your obligation to step in and quell that?
Honestly, I feel like the people, I hang around, they haven't really made terrible choices, but, I do, I have some friends, do drugs, this and that. I'm like, hey, chill, just...
Yeah. Even at 33.
Right?
It's the same thing.
Yeah, you try to, give them like a good, tell them, right from wrong.
Right.
Whatever,
Do you think that they're receptive to that?
I think for the most part, yes. You know, it helps them a little bit, but you know, people are gonna do what they want to do at the end of the day. So you know, you can't force them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so.
pretty shitty. Do you have a lot of pressure on your shoulders, neighbor? I mean, you know, you're being highlighted. You know, you're obviously very smart, and a lot of people from your side of town, which we love South Waco on this show. Somebody even asked me, "Do I only invite South Waco?" I thought you were from North Waco. Oops.
No, come on.
Here we go again. More DMs. But you know, do you find a pressure in your shoulders being from like an inner city like you are, and you know, people don't graduate from college with 30 or high school with 30 college credits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, now people are holding you on this pedestal. You're only 18.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think so. You know, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. You know, take it day by day. You know, yeah, I want people to, you know, be proud of me, have people to make happy. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm gonna do what I got to do. You know, I'm gonna get there one way or another.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah.
Do you find time to let loose? Do you ever want to?
All the time. You know, there's times where I'm so like, I wouldn't say lost, but like I'm just so like stressed. You know, like I don't know what to do. You know.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes you just got to go for a little walk or something, let it out. Yeah.
You know, you took a dabble at being a young entrepreneur yourself, right? Because you were doing the landscaping you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, so now has that been put on pause? Or
no, I still have a couple yards. You know, I go cut. Hey, I need my yard cut. Bet, you know, I'm on the way.
Yeah. So with that, you started doing that with like what, 16, 17 or something?
Yeah, I was
like
probably
that?
like 16 when I started.
Okay, got you. So what drove you? It didn't sound like you came from a household where that was like a thing, right?
Well, actually, when I was younger, you know, I was maybe like 11, 12. When I was with my dad, I'd always go with him and cut yards ever since I was little.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he'd sit me on the zero turn. I'd cut the yards and he'd weed eat, you know, because I couldn't weed eat.
What's the zero turn? Is that the car one?
That's the one you sit on, yeah. And
I don't cut grass, neighbor. I cut grass like twice in my life.
Come on.
Yeah, bro, I'm not doing that. Like, do I look like I cut fucking grass? Shout out JG's Lawn Care, but get him to cut your grass, okay?
Right.
Yeah. No, okay, so you and the dad were doing that. So then you decide that you're going to start doing your own thing.
Yeah, you know, just, you know, people I know, you know, nothing too big, just something small, you know, a little extra money.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So it never got in the way with schoolwork or anything like that?
No, it didn't.
Got you. Okay, so, you know, we were talking about working hard in school. We're talking about being an entrepreneur. We're talking about baseball. We're talking about becoming a DPS officer and you're 18 years old. Yeah. Now you're doing college courses in high school. Yeah. So you have all this going on at once. Then on top of that, we have the home life going on, right? Where you know, dad's making choices and now we're divorced. Now we're living in a... Neighbor, how did you not crack?
I ain't gonna... There was some times, you know, I'd sit there, you know, by myself, you know, just, you know, letting it out. You know, you got to. There's nothing else you can do. But I mean, like I said, I just had to keep myself motivated, you know, make who I wanted to make proud, and that's what I'm doing so far.
I got you.
Yeah.
So you're doing a pretty good job at that.
So far, I think.
You know, but we talk about that too because a lot of young Latinos, especially, you know, we're not taught to express our feelings and open up and stuff like that. Keep it in, you know. Was it hard for you in the beginning? I
think so. Like I said, you know, I wouldn't really let it out to my mom or anything. I'd talk to my sister here and there. You know, she's real good at that. You know, she's real good at, you know, talking to you, trying to, you know, get you to let it out. Yeah. I think she helped a lot.
Big ups to the sister too.
Right?
I mean, do you ever feel like sometimes that life is moving too fast for you?
I think so. You know, I feel like life's too short. You know, like I've been seeing all these people, you know, growing up or whatever, and I'm like, dang, you know, it's going by fast.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But yeah, I think really like high school and by in a blink of an eye like that, you know.
Right, with that, and then, you know, you're halfway through college already. You know what I mean? So here in a few years, you'll probably have a career.
You gotta grow up quick.
Do you think you're missing out on anything?
I don't think so. You know, I'm doing what I want to do. I know what I'm pursuing, so that's what I use as, you know, motivation. Like, hey, you know,
gotcha.
One day I'm gonna be doing what I want to do, and I'm gonna be doing it young, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Now, neighbor, I don't want to be going to any of my club hostings here in a year, and then you're one of those people passed out from pasta or whatever the fuck. Okay, you know I'll beat you up.
For
you
real,
know
right?
I will whoop your ass.
You gonna get me up from the hair, pull me out?
Well, you know, I will. I'll kick your ass. But you know, no, because it's great to see. You know, we talk about the career day from 2018, what was it? 19, 20, 22, 3, 6 years ago. It was 6 years ago. And, you know, we talk about the career day from 6 years ago. You know, I definitely wasn't in a position to be, like, judging the kids and like this and that. But, you know, y'all were a rowdy. You know, y'all were saying shit to me that I was like, what the fuck, where's the parents? You know what I mean? But, so it's great seeing you now as a young adult. You know what I mean? And keeping your head on your shoulders and stuff like that. How does somebody like you find balance in that? Where it's like, you know, I like to go turn up, and we're not naive here.
Right.
You know, he likes to go party. You know what I mean? But I have to also do my schoolwork, and then I have to make an established career for myself.
I think I just gotta limit myself. You know, and the people you hang around, that has a lot to do with stuff you do too. So you know, I try to try to limit myself to, what I want to do, and,
Sure.
try to be around the right crew. A lot of my friends already went off to college, so.
Okay, got you.
I'm really have like 2 friends here still,
But do they have 30 college credits?
No, they don't. Come on.
Don't get all big-headed now. Though,
nah,
okay?
you trying to throw shade?
I'm not. I'm just saying.
Nah, just playing.
They probably got more college credits because I don't got 0. I got 0. Bitch, not even the basics. What are you talking about? I've never even put an application in for
it's
college.
All right. You
so
don't need college to be successful.
No, I'm famous. But the only difference between us two, neighbor, and I want you to hold on to this in 10 years, is that you're creating a career for yourself that we're always going to need somebody like you.
Yeah.
In terms of law enforcement to protect us. Once I become irrelevant, that's it. Once I become irrelevant, that's it. I'm going to be washed up and I'm going to be one of those, housewives, okay? Washed up with some husband that doesn't want me anymore. That took all his money. Yeah, that's what's going to happen, Okay, so we talk about staying above the influence, and especially within your job in your field, you have to. Do you know what I mean? Is there a pressure to do so as well?
I don't think so. I think I can handle it.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay, got you. All right, man. DPS officer. We got the college going. First of all, how's everything in college going?
Good. It's the first week, so and you got to figure out your classes, learn the professors.
Sure.
I was stressed a little bit over my English class, but I'm getting into the road.
But it's almost as if you're halfway through now, right?
Yeah, basically. So I should be done by the summer, hopefully.
So
God willing.
At what point will you start dabbling in some law enforcement careers or professions, just to kind of do?
Well, what I want to do, you can't be a licensed police officer till you're 21. So I think you can enter the academy at 20, I believe, or something like that. But when I finish MSc, my plan is to go get my bachelor's at Sam Houston.
Okay.
So yeah, once I finish school completely, I think that's when I'll start, trying to get my career started, because I don't want to, have too much going on at one time.
Yeah, and don't take breaks.
No, yeah.
Don't take breaks.
I already know myself. Once I take a break, I'm not going to go back.
After high school, I'm just going to take a year off, and so far it's been 12 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah, so do you think that you're doing what you want to do in life, neighbor?
I think so. I think right now I'm reaching on my goals so far. All the goals I had said, when I said a while back, I think I'm reaching them slowly but surely.
Yeah, bro, most definitely.
Yeah, so
for sure. You know what? And good for you. So 10 years from now, what's your goal?
Have a family, a house, and be a DPS trooper. Yeah.
Yeah, 28.
Yeah. Hopefully,
It happens to some of us. 33, I don't have a family. But,
yeah, that's my plan.
Yeah, I got you. You know what, neighbor? Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. What do you want to leave us with? For anybody watching the show, I really wanted this episode to be, your peers or people around your age watching this that maybe don't have a sense of direction in their life. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And you come from a home where that did take place. And again, big shout out to mom and dad. You guys raised a fine young man who has a very well head on his shoulders. I bet that I could say the same for the other kids. What do you say to your peers and to the people around you that are not following suit, that kind of feel like they're discouraged in life and they can't find direction?
Yeah, you gotta have somebody to talk to as well. Some people are going through a lot. They have, they don't have a mom, they don't have a dad. Some people aren't close to them. They can't open up to them. You gotta, find somebody who you're able to open up to, and I think that'll help a lot. Just keep going. You want to be, successful for yourself too. So. I think that's what helped me a lot too. Wanted good, wanted better for myself.
That's what's up. Good for you. And good. Congrats for cutting off that whatever you had going on.
Come on, you didn't like it?
I'm not into mullets. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know how people be doing that.
I got a lot of shade for it. A lot of people tell me, hey, cut it off. Come on.
Well, listen, neighbor, thank you so much for coming on to the Public Affair. We truly appreciate it. Big shout out to you, your family. Big shout out to all your achievements. I want you to keep your head in the books, keep doing your thing, and keep striving for success, because you can do it.
We're going to try.
And I just want to say, for somebody who, I guess, essentially met you when you were a kid, you know what I mean, and who helped raise money for your baseball team.
For the Dominican Republic.
Republic, and then I got the flu. I want to tell you, number one, thank you for coming onto the Public Affair and trusting my platform to tell your story. Thank you for being vulnerable with us, and big congrats. I just want to say I am proud of you for somebody that I saw as a 12-year-old boy, rowdy little kid, be the man that you are now. And so not only is my age showing and I feel old as shit now, but I do want to tell you that I am proud of you.
Thank you.
I am very proud of you. Yes, and your parents should be proud of you, and your family should be proud of you, and keep doing your thing. I'm telling you, mom and dad, sister, cousins, if I see him at the club all drugged up and shit, I'm gonna whoop his ass for you. I promise. I got connections in the city too. I do. South Waco fucks with me heavy, so don't you dare.
Hey, me too.
Neighbor, thanks again to everybody that watches this episode of The Public Affair. Make sure you guys keep an eye out for Neighbor, so that way when we're speeding on the highway here in a few years and he's a DPS officer, tell him that you saw him on The Public Affair and he said that he'll get you out of the speeding ticket, courtesy of this episode.
Right?
Yes, to all of you guys that tuned in, thank you guys again. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with? Any shout outs, anything?
Nah, I think that's it. Just shout out to my family, for being there for me and, being able to help me out.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
That's what's up, bro. To everybody that's tuned in, I've got more of the Public Affair on the way to Nabor Lopez. Thank you then so much for coming on the Public Affair. I truly appreciate it. Now, before we go, I'm just going to use an opportunity. I'm just going to give a shout out to just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of the Public Affair, of course, to Jay Pedo and Poke with Junior Fuentes, Thomas Roberts, and the entire family providing delicious savory Japanese crepes and poke bowls. I love going to Jay Pedo. I love placing my order on the app, on the Jay Pedo app. It's so amazing. I love packing my bowl with proteins and different toppings and the sauces, you guys. Or you could just choose from a menu item, but one of their signature bowls and do that if you want to do all that. Locations at University Park Drive and Hewitt Drive. You can order online at jpedaltx.com as well. To Jay Pedo, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of the Public Affair. Of course, to Elite Barbershop with my boy Sid Rodriguez, located on Hewitt Drive. You can call the number on screen to book or download the Squire app. Walk-ins are welcome as well. He has Marcus Guerrero, Chris Reyes, Santos Cordova, David Rodriguez, Isaac Chavez, Clint Fletcher, Isai Reyes, Sam Ceballos, and Kyle Berry. Over there making like a snacks I have for more than 215 episodes, 14 episodes of the Public Affair. To Elite Barbershop, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. Of course, to Junior Banda with Fatboy Michelada and Botana, providing the best michelada and botana plates for yourself or for a party. Now, you can't have a michelada, but you can get the one with the club soda.
Can I?
It's
no
so
alcohol.
Yeah, no alcohol. You're only 18. I'm not doing that. Not on this show. All right. Well, I went to Mexico that one. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But, guys, he also offers the best aguachile, ceviche, chamoy candy, hot Cheeto pickle plates, and so much more. It's perfect to bring to an event, a party, or you can just have him make one for you individually, and he might deliver if you ask nicely. Make sure you guys get the best and not the rest with Fatboy Michelada and Botana. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of the Public Affair. And of course, to Hummingbird Party Backdrops and decor, my girl Ana Limones. Call for all party decor, including beautiful balloon props, giving an extra flair to your party or event with a number of wooden backdrops as well. You guys, phenomenal backdrops, phenomenal decorations. She'll make sure that the party is standing out amongst everybody else. That woman leaves no crumbs. I'm so proud of her. Hummingbird Party Backdrops and decor. Make sure you guys contact her with the information on the screen. Se habla español también. To my girl Ana Limones, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of the Public Affair. To all of you, I got more on the way. To Nabor Lopez, thank you again for coming on to the Public Affair. Make sure you keep your head in the books. Make sure you keep your attitude right, or else I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Right?
I've said that 100 times on the show. I will, bro. I'm strong. But don't forget, guys, to always keep it between us. That's it. I lost my word. They're right here. I lost my fucking words. Damn it.
Please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, thank you.
So you've been working for the Public Affair for a while now? Or the podcast or whatever?
Yeah, so the podcast has been going for 4 years.
But this is like your stuff, right?
The Public Affair is me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't work for the Public Affair.
My bad.
Now, Rogue Media Network, this network, like Mason, Mike, and them, they edit and produce the show, and then I distribute it. Like,
I see what you mean.
Stuff like that. But this is, hello.
With Andrew G. Okay. Yeah, I seen that.
What do you see with Power 108?
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.